Hi, this is a creativity video diary. Earlier last week, after 2 weeks of making YouTube videos and 5 videos later, I felt like I had already seen a lot of improvement and things that I liked about the new videos that I had made, and I felt very motivated and inspired to keep making YouTube videos. I want to spend a lot of time writing and recording and working on my editing and emailing people for research for videos and working on lighting and things like that, and really going all in because I could see a useful path forward where I would get better and better. That contrasted a lot with how I felt about the music that I wanted to work on. I made a video 2 weeks ago about the ways that I hold myself back from working on my music that I've been trying to do for 5 years. I talked about how there are simple things I could do, like taking vocal lessons or finding producers to help me make my songs sound better. But by Friday night last week, I was just really not motivated to do that. And recently, I didn't feel inspired with it at all. I had all these songs that I was planning on working on and recording, but I just couldn't imagine myself, taking the time and putting in work to make the beats and work on recording because I didn't think they would end up sounding very good, and I didn't want to waste a lot of time. I couldn't see a useful path forward in that case. I didn't completely rule it out from my mind, though. And this Saturday morning, I woke up really early and went to a coffee shop nearby with intentions of writing a couple more video scripts. But I got curious and I wanted to try working on the beat for that song that I was hoping to do. And I opened up GarageBand, downloaded some Metro Boomin drums. I got into an initial flow state and tracked out the drums and a keyboard pattern. And I listened back to it and thought, that sounds a lot better than I thought it would. And the doubts that I had about, do I want to spend the time to work on this music and it won't even end up turning out that nice, started to fade a little bit. And it was nice to have a tiny bit of confirmation thinking maybe I can keep going. But then I had to go because I was going to Brooklyn to the Botanical Garden to wait in a 600-person line to sniff a blooming corpse flower, which was a very beautiful moment. 2 hours into the line, someone started playing the new Bad Bunny album, and I overheard it and thought, those chords sound really good. I went home eventually after having some Trinidadian food, which was very good, and took a shower and was playing the Bad Bunny song. And I started singing my song over those chords and thought, these go very well together. Let me try something. So I got out the shower, dried off, and booted up GarageBand again. I reworked the beat from the morning to use some of the chord progressions from Bad Bunny. I laid out some demo vocals. I cranked up the auto-tune just so I could get a feeling for what the actual melody might sound like once I sing it well. And I stared at myself in the reflection of my window. I was really, really happy with how it was sounding, even after just one day of work. I was grateful to myself for writing the first draft of that song 3 years ago, and grateful to my friend who helped me sing the vocals initially because I could never get the melodies myself. And then grateful to myself again for finishing the lyrics and performing it at an open mic later that fall. And grateful to my roommates for filming that performance because the video of that performance reminded me about that song and how good it felt to sing and what the audience reacted well to and how much fun I was having with it. And grateful to my roommate again for this winter sending me a video of a Kendrick Lamar beat remake, which gave me the idea to use the Metro Boomin drum kit that I found online that made the new beat I was working on sound good to me at all anyway. And that's a little scatterbrained and all over the place, but I want to list out a lot of the reasons and very widespread sources of inspiration that all come together while I'm working on music. And then looking at my reflection in the window and listening to the demo of the song in my headphones, I thought, this might actually be something. I really want to try putting this song out and see what happens. That's still how I feel. But then I had to go because I was going out with my friends. We met up at her apartment, and while we were dancing in the living room next to the TV, someone played Rich Baby Daddy by Drake, Sexy Red, and SZA. And when that came on, everyone started to have such a good time. And I thought, this song is amazing. And the next morning, I booted up GarageBand, took out the shaker from the demo that I had initially made and replaced it with a little hi-hat pattern that's in Rich Baby Daddy. And then I added some arpeggios to make it sound a little bit more sparkly in the background of the song. And then I exported the new demo. I put my headphones in and pressed play, and there in my room on a cool Sunday evening, I felt like I was doing something right. I danced to it a few times and got a little emotional and eventually laid down for bed. My mind was swimming with ideas. There was so much I wanted to try next. Like, what if I sing the background vocals and the chorus actually on key? I could do that with a little bit of practice, and it probably would sound really good. And let me perform the verses with a bit more emphasis. Okay, and then I can ask my friends to make a choreography for it so I can shoot a music video for it across 2 countries, and get a producer to mix and master it so it sounds nice on all devices, and I can figure out how to rent a venue and perform it live in NYC. And there's so many so many ideas and so much excitement and so much motivation, even as I was trying to fall asleep. And it's crazy to me because on Friday night, 2 days before, I had almost zero motivation for the music that I had claimed I wanted to work on. As I sit here and write this, I think it's so obvious how my mentality and motivation could have swung so dramatically over such a short amount of time. It's this classic directed acyclic graph, where inspiration leads to motivation, which leads to action. Except I lied, it's not acyclic, it's cyclic, because action leads back to inspiration. Once you do something and you put pen to paper, as they say, it gets your mind swimming with more ideas and more inspiration. This is the whole reason why momentum is a thing in creativity. What you make gives you a window into what you could make in the future. I don't have a strategy yet for taking more action in life when I'm low on motivation, but I have noticed a few things that do help. The first one is getting enough rest. When I come home from work exhausted, I don't have the drive to do creative work, or really to do anything other than eat dinner and lay down and stare at the ceiling. The second thing is having free time. I got a lot of work done on that song because I woke up at literally 6:30 on Saturday and had the whole morning unplanned. I was just gonna go to a coffee shop and write for a little bit and see where the ideas took me. And I think the last thing is reflecting on the past work that I've done when I don't have the motivation to do future work, because that really sparks ideas and sparks motivation and reminds me about what I liked about doing creative work. And watching this old performance reminded me of what it felt like to work on music. And it got me interested to find out what would happen if I kept working on it. And so I'll leave you with a little clip from that, and I'm going to get back to work. Let's go.
1, 2, Somebody gon' do what we used to. Too much tension, what we mentioned. Let's just relax, get used to being ourselves again and dancing. We're playing songs that give me shivers. We are silhouettes in the dark. We're just shadows of who we were, but at least we're standing. Look at that.